Empyrion Game Studios, the developers of Empyrion Galactic Survival, have just put out a new experimental version of the game. Now, normally I wouldn't feature a video, I wouldn't do a video on the first experimental version because there's usually like 3 or 4 in a row, and they're each one adding something significant each time. But this particular update warranted some special attention because Empyrion have done something that, well, actually it's quite incredible for me. For everyone, for the game, of course, but especially for me. Now, as many of you know, I created a faction when Empyrion asked us to submit factions to the game for consideration to add to the game. I submitted the Brotherhood of Far, and I've banged on about them every now and again, and, you know, gone through their POIs a little bit, and I even created several of them myself, of course. So it was fantastic news to see the Brotherhood of Far actually being added to the game as an actual faction. Well, that was some time ago, which is great. But now they've done something quite extraordinary, and I feel actually quite honored, really. You see, Empyrion have not only added my faction to the game, but they've now actually invested in dedicated NPCs for the Brotherhood of Far faction. They've actually gone out of their way to either create or purchase these assets and add them as specifically for the Brotherhood of Far. And I think that's just bloody fantastic. I think it's so good of them to do this. Like, I always assumed that they added the Brotherhood of Far in because it was an easy faction to add for them. It had enough POIs and ships to really make their own space their own. So I figured it was an easy win for Empyrion. The fact that they've now gone ahead and added this faction's own NPCs. Like, the only other faction that has its own NPCs is the Xirax. The Polaris, UCH, Pirates, all use the same group of NPCs. The Creel use a variety of NPCs that already existed in the game. The Legacy use a variety of bugs and monsters that were already in the game. This may not seem like a big deal to some of you, but for Empyrion to add new NPCs to the game, specifically for the faction that I submitted for the game, that's why it means a lot to me. That genuinely is incredible. Not to mention, these guys actually look pretty sick as well, you know. There's always a risk, isn't there, from a developer point of view. You add these NPCs in the game and nobody likes them, but look at these guys, they look freaking awesome. They still use the same AI as all the other NPCs, so, you know, they do stupid stuff like that. But even when they are just staring at the wall, they look good doing it. They're so cool. They actually look like fanatical acolytes, religious nutbags. It's brilliant. Now, there's still a lot of the usual NPCs loitering around POIs, and a lot of the Brotherhood of Far POIs that I built and I asked the community to build and stuff use a lot of droids and robots. Because why would religious fanatics fight themselves when they can just buy armed automatons to do it for them? That was the logic anyway. But maybe this is the beginning of something else. Maybe Empyrion are going to add even more NPCs to the game. I would like to see a lot of these civilian NPCs replaced with, you know, static, placeable, or roaming, unarmed Brotherhood NPCs as well. Should be reasonably easy to do now that they got the asset. But it makes sense that there are civilians among the Brotherhood as well. So it's not a case of replace all. It'd have to be something that would be thought about, measured and stuff like this. Like maybe 10% of these civilians here, for example, waiting for the speaker to come on stage would be brothers from the Brotherhood of Far, rather than Polaris and traders and colonists and UH people, of course. He's really giving him the finger, isn't he? What's going on there? Something else I noticed as well. This looks like a new UCH model. This guy, apart from his douchebag man bun, what is going on with his hair? Who did that? He's also holding nothing. But then I suppose, you know, we can't win all, can we? But he looks pretty dope. I like the armor. Honestly, it's really good to see them add new NPCs and new models and stuff like that, as always. One day we might actually get rid of the generic dinosaurs and stuff like that as well, and actually have some more alien monsters added to the game. Peaceful or otherwise. I do want to see what kind of kick these Brotherhoods gonna give, so I'm gonna become enemies with them. Holy crap, these guys got some hit points. Well, that should probably do it. Hello. Unfriendly. There we go. Shoot me when I'm shooting at you. Let's see what kind of kick they got. Do they actually shoot at all? I mean, they've got guns. I assume they'd shoot back. Usual sort of standard loot affair, really. Well, can't give them points for intelligence, I suppose. Let me get rid of that door for you, because you're all dying to get in there. Yeah, they don't seem to shoot back, unfortunately. Maybe there's something that they'll add in later and fix. It is the experimental version, after all. Version 1 of these new NPCs arriving. They have laser pistols, they are armed, but I suppose, you know, they're also somewhat pacifists. So why are they armed? That makes no sense. Hi! Feel free to shoot me at any time you like. Oh! Someone's shooting something. No? They're tall, aren't they? Is it me or are they really tall? Look at them! They're so tall! Or I'm really short. You're towering over me like... My god. Kind of creepy. I'm standing around in a circle. Okay, nothing's attacking me. Okay, there we go. The grill controller attacked me. So, you know, there's something going on with the NPCs. But anyway, the point is, hopefully they'll shoot back at some point. That would be cool. The robots should shoot me. Yeah, the robots shoot me. Yeah, okay. There's just something wrong with these guys. Hopefully they'll fix that. But anyway, the point is, they look dope. Of course, that's not the only thing they added to this patch. They've added new models for the Constructor and Advanced Constructor, which look like actual constructors now. The moving parts, they look like proper 3D printers and stuff. Little control stations here. You know, not an abundance of screens that don't move or flicker and look really out of place. So that's nice. Just basically a simple keyboard interface. I like that model. You got some nice detail here. And the fact that you can color individual sections of it as well, you know that people are going to enjoy that. You know, we can really mess around with things in this, like, just to show you what can be done here. It's nice. Very nice. So, looking forward to playing with that in some builds. Also, thank you for giving me yet more things to color and paint. But yeah, that's the Advanced Constructor there. Obviously, functionally exactly the same as before. That's the Large Constructor. I mean, they both look pretty awesome. I'd actually say I prefer the Large Constructor model to the Advanced one, but, you know, they're both good. The Advanced, it is a natural progression to Advanced. It's just a bigger 3D printer, isn't it? I think the base is running out of power. Yeah, before you ask, this base is the Obsidian Outpost by NT, available on the workshop. Very nice little starter base. This one's particularly built for Reforged, so it's somewhat incomplete here in vanilla, but never mind. This is the new model of the Deconstructor as well. I do like the mechanical arm there as well. Apparently, these things have animations when they work as well. Well, what do you know? Look at that. That's pretty cool. Is that all we get? Just that one? Oh no, there we go. It was a little janky. Bit start-stop. There we are. And then it stops. I wonder if it's supposed to move each thing and it builds these things so fast. Let me give it something a little bit more complicated to make. Hang on, I haven't unlocked very much yet. Give me a solar capacitor. It's making the noise but not moving. Work in progress. Work in progress. Okay, there you go. The animation's a little bit smoother, so it starts depending on whether it's building something. It's linked directly, I think, to what it's building. And let's have a look at the Large Constructor doing something. Let me give it a generator. See what that does. Hello. Large generator. Oh, no, it does. There we go. See, there's a big old delay on that one. I do like these animations. I don't know what that claw hand is doing, but it is clipping through the outside of the asset there. Eliad! Have a little look at the Deconstructor here. We should have some parts for it to deconstruct now. Let's put this in storage 2. There we go. Storage 2. Deconstruct away. Oh yeah, there we go. That swings about like a crazy person. Like a chicken. Pecking away. You know what? It's just nice to have a little bit of animation and movement in base components and stuff like that. Oh, okay, that's cute. This is a small constructor. It's nice. The sound effect isn't too intrusive and irritating as well. And the animations could use some work and whatnot, but I think it's a really, really nice effort. The assets look really cool. Very nice addition to those, especially the deconstructor, which, let's be honest, looked like the head of a transformer. So that was good. That's a nice one. There we go. We also have some new trees to enjoy. It's actually a whole separate block. It's deco indoor trees, separate from the artificial plants deco. There's a good 20 trees here to choose from to decorate your bases and stuff with. And it looks like they are the same trees that you can find out and about in the world, I think, by the looks of it. I recognize quite a number of these from the new deco system of, like, say, the Akua Moon and stuff like that. They actually look really nice. The pots are all the same. Can we color these? Yes, we can. We can color the pots, look. So that's quite cool. Apart, oh, no, that was just the light. I was about to have a little go then, but it's okay. So you can color the pots. Yeah, they're pretty good, actually. You can make a proper arboretum with all this stuff. Some exotic looking plants, I gotta say. And there's even more than that as well. Very nice. Always love a potted plant addition to the base. It makes it look lovely. And we've also got some new blocks to add to our collection as well and to figure out. Let me deselect that. There's, well, I can't remember the names of them, but there's like notched E and these ramp connectors here as well, and a few others. You can see I've painted here so you can see what faces are actually paintable and separately. But my favorite addition is this one, which has been missing for me for so long. And there's that half connector there. Oh my god, finally on a sort of pyramid ramp. It's an absolute game changer. These two, in fact, that one as well, because that's the half variant of that. So yeah, big win. Thank you, Elion. Appreciate you for adding that one in. It's been missing from my block list for ages. I've been going, I really need this block. And yeah, so thank you very much. This is going to take some getting used to, figure out how they can add into the builds and change the way we do things. But it's always nice to see some new blocks added to the game. Thank you very much. I do have to say, going back to vanilla and just looking around like Akura and Omicron and stuff like that, I do miss how beautiful the vanilla game does look with the new foliage systems and stuff like that. Hopefully we'll get to see those added to custom scenarios soon, and everyone can sort of benefit from this excellent addition to the game. It just makes things look... I mean, look at that giant mushroom tree. Look at that. See, doesn't that look familiar to one of the potted plants that we saw? It's just massive. Anyway, so the other updates that they've added in is changes to the main settlement here, changes to some other of the POIs here on Omicron, and things like that. I'll link, as always, to the patch notes down below so you can have a little look through yourself. There's a bunch of bug fixes in there as well, as always. And yeah, it's a decent, for a first experimental patch, given what they've added. I felt compelled to do a little video and tell you guys about it. So keep an eye out for more experimental versions to come out after this one, addressing issues like what we've seen today, adding even more stuff in. If anything else comes along that's big, huge, changing, then I will let you know. Now, I will say that Elion have already said that this is kind of an interim update. They were planning some really big changes, additions to the game, but they weren't able to get them done in time for this update, so they've pushed them to next year's update, early next year. So sometime, hopefully January, February time next year, we're going to see something big. I have no idea what they're talking about, but has anybody else noticed that they've changed the logo on Steam for the game? That kind of PDA looking device now. It's interesting that they would add a PDA in the graphic logo icon of the game on Steam. You know, we're all familiar with the current PDA and the fact that it's just this kind of basic bitch menu system here. It works, it's functional or whatever. But having a sort of animated PDA that comes up, I don't know if that's what they're going to be adding, but on the PDA looks like a blueprint. So it might be something to do with the blueprints factory. And they have always said that they do want to address the blueprints factory. So it's not just things are spawned in from, you know, from thin air. Yeah, so maybe some kind of factory device or new mechanic on adding factory things rather than just flopping them basically out of thin air or something. Be interested to see what happens. I'll keep an eye out and I will let you know, of course, what comes up when it comes up. But thank you very much for watching today. Do check out the experimental version if you like what you see today. To do that, all you need to do is right-click Empyrion on your Steam library, go to Properties, Betas, and then in the beta participation, select the drop-down and select Experimental Branch. Just let the game update and that's it. You're on the experimental version of the game. Just with that, make sure that you create a new save. You start a new game. Otherwise, it may break any existing saves that you try to run. And if you wanted to return back to your previous saves without breaking them, you can just change it back to the regular game, undo the steps you did to make it experimental and return it back to the normal game. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. I hope you found this interesting and thank you very much for watching. And thank you, Elion, for everything you've done. I appreciate it. All right. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.